Am I looking sexy, Ben?
Reasonably. Reasonably. That was a safe response.
That's being recorded on 5 cameras right now.
Right.
Brandon,
Yeah.
today we're talking about personality types.
Yes.
Why is personality types important?
It helps you understand people and helps you to be able to sell to them.
Yeah, talk in their language, right?
Mm-hmm.
So each one of us have a personality type.
Yes.
There's 4 personality types. The first one is
Amiable.
amiable. Second one is.
Expressive.
Third one is.
Driver.
Fourth one is.
Analytical.
Those are the 4 types. Everybody is one. You are a.
Driver.
I am a.
Analytical.
Analytical. So I have a tendency to speak to people in analytical natures. In fact, a lot of my clients, I always tell them to have a calculator next to them because that's the way I think, right?
Right.
A driver, everybody nicknames you the hitman.
Yes. I have that nickname.
Yeah, because you're very what?
Direct.
Direct and to the point because you're a driver. Okay. But obviously we don't want to talk to everybody in that way.
Right.
We want to actually adapt who they are.
Right.
It's a form of NLP, but you want to make connection, rapport with the people that you're speaking with. So anyways, let's talk about each one.
Sure.
And let's talk about how we should adjust our speech toward that personality.
Yep.
Let's start off with an amiable.
Sure.
An amiable is a hugger.
Yeah.
Right? So what does that mean?
How do they feel? How does everybody else feel about the house and the experience?
Yeah, so an amiable will walk in the house and he'll say the house feels like home,
Yeah,
right?
like home, yeah.
Yeah, the house feels like home. Okay. An amiable often will invite everybody to the showing because an amiable, quite frankly, is more concerned about how it affects others than it affects themselves.
Correct.
An amiable does not like conflict.
No.
So you never want to create any type of tension, conflict with an amiable. So some of the words that we use with an amiable would be what?
How does this room feel?
Okay.
Things like that.
Yeah, like where would you put your furniture, right? Because you're visualizing the family, right?
Yep.
Does the house feel like home to you?
Right.
Let's talk about an analytical and look at the difference with an analytical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So an analytical is all facts and figures,
Yes.
right? Would you ask an analytical how the house feels?
No.
Because they think you're from a different planet.
Yes,
a house is a
exactly.
house. It doesn't have feelings, right? An analytical, I always think of Spock. I watch Star Trek.
Nerd.
Total nerd, right? But an analytical is going to want to know, like, what is the cost per square foot compared to other properties? What is my utility bills going to be? What kind of appreciation can I expect on this house?
Yep.
What kind of appraisal am I going to get? What is the interest rate? What is going to be my payment? All that type of stuff is what an analytical. Would you talk to an amiable about cost per square foot?
No, they would think you're crazy.
It doesn't make any sense to them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So an analytical will actually take a long time to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
They're the personality that takes a long time to make a decision because they always have to have all the information. So you can probably start thinking of some people that you know that are like this, that have to constantly analyze and gather the information. So with an analytical, one of the great things that we can say is, what additional information can I give you, Brandon, so you can make a decision, right?
Yep.
Compare that to an amiable, often they don't make the decision.
Right.
They rely on everybody else, right?
Yep.
To make a decision. So you can see there's a distinct difference between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about a driver. Since you are a driver,
Yeah.
why don't you tell everybody who you are?
Yeah, the hitman.
Hitman.
Usually I'm looking to make a decision, whether it's right or wrong. So
And quickly.
yeah, and quickly.
Yeah.
It's
So-
important to me.
Could you see yourself driving up to a house not liking it and saying,
Oh, definitely. We're not wasting time. We'll just go to the next one.
we're not going to get out of the car.
Yeah.
I don't even need to deal with this house.
Yep.
Would an amiable do that?
No, because they think that you don't want to disappoint anybody or
They don't want to offend the seller, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So once again, the difference in it. So a driver will make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And not always the correct one because they haven't analyzed everything. Like an analytical will take a long time to make a decision gathering information, right?
Yep.
Driver is just going to make a decision. You know, a lot of real estate companies bring flip books out. You know, here's my presentation, here's my tablet. First of all, I don't like that type of presentation. No. We can talk about that later. But what if I came to your house and I said, can I show you all the things that I do? And I start whipping through a flip book and we're like 5 minutes into this, right?
Exactly.
Are you going to be escorting me out the door?
Yeah, no thanks. I'm set.
But I could just walk in and say, were you planning on listing with me today?
Sure.
And there's a very good chance you'd say,
yes.
Yeah. So you want to be much more quick with a driver, without a question. And an expressive. We all know somebody that walks in the door. When they walk in the door, we see them, right? Everybody has that person, right?
Yep,
And
look
they're
at
actually
me.
more, yeah, look at me, but it's kind of, they're just outgoing, right?
Yeah.
Just the nature of being outgoing personality. And if you're an analytical like myself, you actually have to bring yourself out of your box, and you have to be outgoing too, so you can mirror match that individual, right? So an expressive is all about the experience.
Right.
So when you're selling to an expressive, you want to talk about, here's what other clients have appreciated about what we do,
Right.
because it's about the experience of the whole
Right.
transaction. So you have 4 different personalities: you amiable, analytical, driver, and expressive. We had somebody that worked for us many years ago, and the person was very difficult, had a really hard time with the amiable personality. After working with the individual for several months, they learned the amiable personality, and their sales actually went up by 25%.
Yep.
Because they're about 25% of everybody's amiable,
Makes sense,
even though that person was not amiable.
Right.
Anyways, that's personality types. If you want to know information about this or any other subject, you can give Brandon a
Reach
call
out.
at
616-862-6712.
Give me a call at 269-251-8711. My email address is david@michigantopproducers.com.
Mine is Brandon at michigantopproducers.com.
Why is personality types important?
It helps you. Good question.
You got some good funny stuff.